Tomorrow is the big day. The big day for any Pokemon fan out there waiting for any kind of news related to our favorite pocket monsters. It's the origin of the name if you didn't know that. How could you not know? Whatever. So, what do I expect? What do people expect? I personally, judging on how the Pokemon marketing campaign has been working in the recent years, I expect either a remake, a Let's Go game, because the Let's Go games are the correct compromise between a nostalgia game and a kid-friendly game. You know, new kids, not us kids in the 90s, from the 90s, that just, you know, I'm fucking old, man. Apart from that, it's the correct way because many of original Pokemon fans have children by now. They either had a wife or a husband and they had sons and daughters with them. They may have nephews, whatever. They may be family friends and they take care of their friends' kids when their parents are not around. We don't know. We just know that there's kids that are sons and daughters of people who played the original games. So between the nostalgia factor for these young adults and the new generations, a Let's Go game is the correct compromise. It's kind of a shame they kinda left out the project after the original Let's Go games, because it was a nice game, was quite fun. It also had a pretty fun competitive landscape, because people, despite not being a real tournament regulation, people still managed to organize, because people love competing in Pokemon, and is probably the reason why either VGC or Smogon rule sets are so popular. In Japan, they even invented a rock paper scissors game mode, which is kind of fun. They also wanna make tournaments about that. So, yeah, it's the correct answer. I don't know which mechanic they're gonna use, because in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee we had Mega Evolutions. This time, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna do Terra Crystals? Are they gonna do nothing? Mega Evolutions again for who? There's no... Well, there's Mega Ampharos, for example, which can be a second gen Mega Evolution, so they may just as well introduce all the Gen 1 Mega Evolutions and put Mega Evolutions in there. Probably, I don't know. But that's my take on the Let's Go games, and I think it's very possible we can have those games, that kind of game. The mascots, I don't really know, because the second gen games introduced the eggs. You know, the productive system, what? You know the deal. And the mascot was Togepi. Who do you pair Togepi with? Because we have what? We have Pokemon like Elekid, Magby, Smoochum. They are egg forms of some of the original Pokemon. So it's either one of them, but especially Elekid and Magby are bound together because they're always the exclusive for each other in the two games that come out. So I don't know how they're gonna move. Plus, Jinx was meant to be the third member, kinda calling for the Zapdos, Moltres and Articuno trio, so that could have been the original idea, we don't know. It's possible. But yeah, they could do... they might as well do Wooper, because Wooper is a very popular Pokemon from the Yoto games. Everyone loves Wooper. Everyone was extremely happy when the new form of Wooper dropped. Everybody loves Clodsire. So it could be Wooper, it could be Mareep, because Ampharos is a very popular Pokemon and its entire line is very popular. Everybody loves those guys. Plus, Ampharos is a very important piece of the Yoto games. You all know the story behind it. I'm not gonna spoil if someone is getting introduced to the Pokemon franchise now. I'm not gonna spoil it. It's a 20 plus years old story, but just to be sure, everyone can expect Mareep, so there's options. One of the two could be Togepi, absolutely, because it's the symbol of the gen. Though they might as well do a single game, like let's go Togepi, and just wrap it up there, and whatever. They probably just wanted to introduce Eevee in the last Let's Go games, so whatever. We'll see if the Let's Go theory is correct. Let's go. That's not a joke. I swear it's not a joke. To the second option, which is a Legends game. Now, I loved Legends Arceus. And yes, it's Arceus. It's fucking Greek. Learn your fucking Greek. It's already enough that I pronounce meme. It's meme. Because it's from meme. I loved Legends Arceus. It's probably one of the best games in general I played, and so played in the last 2 years. I'm not even joking. It's actually a good game. A lot of people criticized it because it has bad graphics. Kinda like how they're doing the majority of the last Pokemon games. You know, when you don't have any argument to criticize something, a game, you say it has bad graphics, as if graphics are important. It's not like the industry is moving towards that, right? Right? Oh, god damn it. So, that game can be good. They can make a Legends Ho-Oh because of the Burn Tower and the legendary Doggos meet. They can do Legends Lugia because Lugia is very loved thanks to the film. They can do Legends Celebi because if they follow the same architecture of Legends Arceus, it's probably a mythical Pokemon that is gonna be the protagonist. Plus, it can make sense because it's a time-traveling Pokemon, and if they are gonna follow the same gist as the Arceus game, they can just say, hey, Celebi showed up, and it brought you back in time. Yeah! So, that kind of stuff. And we can see a lot of good stuff in the Yoto region, like the Lake Rage origin, for example, because it was recalled in the Arceus game as well. One of the main characters is originated from Yoto and saw the mess with the Lake Rage. No spoilers if you haven't played Legends Arceus. Do it, please. The third option is not the fucking 10th gen. No. No. It's too early. The VGC still hasn't even seen Koraidon and Miraidon being used. The new games come when the VGC cycle comes to an end and all the box legendaries are used, or well, become legal. So that's next year. I hope not. I want them to take a pause. I know that investors are pretty demanding in that case, allegedly. So yeah, they're probably gonna torture Game Freak even more. They just wanted to do a fun JRPG game and they said, no, make it open world. We cannot do open world. Do it. It's gonna happen with the terrible graphics and bugs everywhere. Do it. That's what I imagine going, you know, I'm probably gonna put someone's face and Masuda crying in the corner. Probably I'm gonna put the community because I think the community is at fault. And that brings me to the next theory, which is a black and white remake. Now, if you know, Black and White is not the only game around. There's Black and White 2, there's the sequel. So, how are they gonna make, or well, remake these games? Probably what they're gonna do is either release Black and White remakes this year and then next year, like at the end of the year, so next November, they're gonna remake Black and White 2. Can be a thing, like maybe they, like they did with Diamond and Pearl remakes, they give it to ELCA and they just have more time to develop the next gen. Hopefully, that might be a good idea. You know, buying some time, some more time, they can polish more, they can get used to a kind of game that Pokemon was not meant to be. God fucking damn it. And yeah, that can be an idea. Or they're gonna just put, I don't know, you finish the Black and White story 10 years later, I don't remember, maybe it's just 3 years, I don't remember. 3 years later, Black and White 2 starts. All your Pokemon from the previous timeline are in a locked box. You can maybe transfer them to Pokemon Home and whatever, but you cannot use them until you beat the league with the Black and White 2 protagonist. That I don't know. There's some ideas. Are they gonna introduce mechanics? I don't think so. Terra Crystal might be a good addition, because if you guys remember, nobody remembers this except competitive players, but in Black and White and Black and White 2, there was the first mechanic. Mega Evolution was not the first mechanic, I'm sorry, but it was gems. No, not this gems. This is Bibu. Yeah, that gem. These bijous, oh no, it's Bibu again, boosted the move of the type they represent by a 50%. It was used, for example, with Acrobatics Tornadus. That thing is a menace, trust me. Especially when you cannot intimidate it because of Defiant. Yeah, that's gonna bring some PTSD for some competitive players. But a direct upgrade to that is Terra Crystal. They're both crystals, no shit. They're used to boost a move of the corresponding type, so they may introduce a new kind of Terra Crystal, maybe for Reshiram and Zekrom, like Kyurem, Terra Crystal, whatever. If you think about it, Ice from Kyurem can be interpreted as a crystal. We'll see. Can be an idea. And I hope they don't change anything about the Unova games. I think the Unova games were pretty much perfect. They were a reboot of the franchise. They blatantly wanted to make the franchise more mature because it was the time when all original Pokemon fans that played the franchise and watched the anime and whatever were starting to grow up. They were starting to get into pubescent years. As a matter of fact, if you check, the protagonists are not 10, 11 years old, they're like 15, 16, even 17, if I'm not mistaken. So they wanted to make the franchise grow along with the fandom, which was the correct idea. So they brought more mature concepts, plot, and ideas to the games. The problem is that they were too positive, and the Pokemon community is not known for being mature at all, even despite the fact they're 30 plus years old. So the games went to shit because they didn't have PG on the first route. It only had new Pokemon. To get all the old Pokemon, you had to finish the game. You know, it's that kind of complaint. So amazing, new generation games with new generation Pokemon for the first, well, for the main part of the game. Absurd. People didn't like that, and so didn't the investors, because the games were voted to the shit. And now we have the current situation. No more pixels. Follow the trend, and the trend currently is open worlds. They cannot do open worlds in 3D. I fucking hate all of this. Please say, please. Game Freak, listen to me. Listen to me. Ignore everyone else. Okay? Ignore them. All Pokemon content creators, ignore them. Listen to me. Right? Go back at doing your own thing. Your own thing was JRPG games in pixels. If you don't wanna do pixels and put like 3D chibis, it's whatever. But go back to the original formula and go back to the train of thought you had for 5th gen onward. Please ignore everybody else. Ignore them. They count nothing. Listen to a guy that saw beautiful games turn to shit because the community wanted fucking PG. Alright? Listen to me. Not because I'm some sort of superior intellect. I'm just a guy that plays Pokemon. And I know what you guys wanted to do. I know how it feels to be forced to chain up your ideas and adapt to the status quo because the community is not mature enough. Please, this is just a a call for help. I understand. Please, do it. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. If people won't appreciate it, I will. Don't worry. Don't worry. So, about these remakes, I talked about how they can be made and my problem with the community after Black and White. How are they gonna be made? If we're gonna think about the reactions in the recent years, it's probably gonna be something along the lines with Pokemon Diamond and Pokemon Pearl. I know people did not like it because it's the chibis. It has been chibis for 20 years before X and Y. Why is it a problem now? Because they're not pixelated? You didn't want pixels. You wanted 3D. So why the fuck are people complaining? Whatever. So they're gonna be, hopefully, not just faithful games. They're gonna be possibly even harder. Because, if you guys don't know, in the Diamond and Pearl remakes, the Cynthia fight is even harder than the original games. I'm not talking about the League rematch. I'm talking about the first battle. And people who played Black and White know how fucking hard the League is in Black and White. I personally tried to beat the League of Black and White something like 10 times before actually beating it, because it was that hard. Now that we have not only more knowledge about the game, both us and them, not only there's more options for them to use, not only now there's the fairy type, which especially in Unova changes all the rules, because what the fairy type brings in Unova is making dragon types weaker, and dragon types are key in Unova. We have like something like Axorus being an absolute menace before the fairy type dropped. We had Hydreigon, which fairy type excluded is probably one of the strongest Pokemon ever created. The fact that it's weak to fairy type 4 times completely destroys this. And the fact that they may introduce Terra Crystal in these games, it may fix this problem, making all the battles even harder. Again, no spoilers for the Unova games, but if you know that fight with a certain Hydreigon, you know how hard it is, you know how easy a fairy type Pokemon can make that battle. But if that Hydreigon uses the Terra Crystals into either a fire or a poison type, your fairy type counts fucking nothing. And I'm saying it as a Mewile fan, because she's my favorite Pokemon. Yes. So this can be interesting. Another solution could as well be lock all fairy types Pokemon behind the post game, which I think it's possible. The only fairy type in Unova is probably Cottony, and Cottony stats are not exceptional. And hold on, let me check for Cottony, because I'm pretty sure Cottony's speed, despite being good, is not... Also, I got it wrong, it's Whimsicott, not Cottony. You get the idea. He gets Prankster as a basic ability, either that or Infiltrator, so you gotta gamble that or hunt for it. It's a base 116, so it may help, but its other stats are kinda lame, so may help, but I don't know about it. Especially because you have, for the playthrough, you have better grass type options other than, for example, just Serperior. You have either the monkey or I don't know. We'll see. Also, you gotta be on the right version because it's either Whimsicott or Lilligant. So, what are you gonna use? Coverage without stab? Who does learn Moonblast from Gem 5? Let's see here. Yeah, that's not a good look. Alright. Dazzling Gleam? Someone? Does someone... Oh my god. Yeah, that's not a good... Okay, wait. Okay, alright, okay. Maybe Cinccino can learn Play Rough. Let's see here. Yeah, Cinccino learns Play Rough, but if they're gonna balance it out, they probably lock it in TM's post game. So we'll see. We don't have that many options still, but can be an interesting introduction. So we shall see. I understand that people miss something like Primal Groudon, Primal Kyogre, but the fact is that for Gen 5 games, both Reshiram and Zekrom already have an alternative form in Kyurem White and Kyurem Black, so I don't know how they're gonna put it like gameplay wise, plot wise. It's a mystery. I am very interested if they go for the remake route, how they are gonna spin it, because I don't think they're gonna show any box art tomorrow. They can absolutely show box arts now, but they never did it, they never do it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll all see tomorrow. I am probably gonna make a video, a follow-up video to this one with all my thoughts and impressions. There's probably gonna be stuff about Pokemon Master CX. There's probably gonna be stuff like Pokemon Cafe Mix, Pokemon Go, whatever. There's gonna be stuff. I don't know if I'm gonna cover that. I'm probably just gonna say a couple of words about that. I haven't played Pokemon Masters in years, especially because I lost the access, first of all, because the phone I played Pokemon Masters in broke, and I did not manage to get back my data. I was free to play there too. So no money actually lost, but kinda sucked. I had some extra copies of my Red and Charizard, but yeah. But I heard that it got a bit harsher because they don't gift legendaries anymore. You gotta pull them, while when I played, you could just unlock it by playing the game. They were free 5 stars basically. You could get Ho-Oh, you could get Solgaleo. So now I saw like Zacian, you had to pull for Zacian instead of just completing the quest. So yeah, I saw that there's Marnie and Megama, while I almost got back in the game just for them. So yeah, we'll see. But I'm gonna make a follow-up video. This is my current thoughts about what's gonna be announced, and my thoughts about how I feel about the community lately, especially since Scarlet and Violet dropped. I understand that Scarlet and Violet are not polished games, but all I saw was people complaining about the graphics, and the glitches were barely mentioned. They started to get mentioned like a year later when nobody gave a shit anymore. So I don't completely either trust that, because we have Cyberpunk that's rocking hard right now despite being as shit as before, but it has good graphics, so it's a good game now. Yeah, sure. But Scarlet and Violet tried to reintroduce the same maturity we had with Black and White. So I believe that the future of the franchise is better than people think often, because people always think about the graphics of video games, especially Pokemon games. But for example, Heartland Story, like that was a good story. If you know, you know. So I personally think that no better graphics are, despite, well, I think that Pokemon games should go back at the original formula. But it's boring, I don't give a fuck. It worked for 20 years. They became the first franchise in the world for a reason. The creatures, the games worked. Once they changed the formula, they were fucked. They got fucked. So if ain't broken, why change it? You wanna see the Pokemon art in the natural world? Why? Why do you give a shit about that? Nobody gives a fucking shit about how Pokemon behave in the wild. Alright? Nobody, no, don't bring about that. There's Pokemon Snap for that. There's the Pokemon cards that show that. This is a JRPG game. You enter the battle, you fight it out, you decide who's the best, like no one ever was. And you get the fuck out of there. You create feelings, you create combination, you create memories with the partners you choose. That's all there is. Whether there's all the Pokemon, a part of the Pokemon, whether you see them behave in the wild, that's the game. If you wanna see anything more, wait for spin-off games. Spin-off games are spin-offs for a reason, because they take the original concept of the game, they spin it in a different way. That's what they're all about. I'm probably gonna make a fuller video, a bigger video, where I criticize all this stupid shit Pokemon fans have been doing for years, all the useless complaints, everything. Because our default for Pokemon games being in this situation is the communities, because it's not true that companies like Game Freak and the Pokemon Company don't hear feedback. They do, especially now with internet. So they do feel it, they heard it before, they are gonna hear it now, and I do like how the community has treated the franchise in the past, because I think that was fucking stupid. Everything people did was so stupid, it brought investors to change the game drastically and for the worse. But I'm gonna talk about it in another video. As for right now, I am very curious about what they're gonna do with the games for this year and probably the start of next year. So I'm gonna wait. After all, I'm gonna wait for the Pokemon Presents tomorrow. So yeah, and we'll see what they are gonna put out for us to enjoy. I'm pretty sure I probably won't be able to afford to buy any of the games. I'm fucking pro. But yeah, I hope I can find a way to see this how these games went, and yeah. With that said, we'll see each other tomorrow, and we'll discuss what they did. And stay tuned for the next content I'm gonna put out. This is my previous video, and yeah, watching, let me know in the comments what you think they're gonna present tomorrow, and we'll see you tomorrow.